What is up, guys? It is Sunday once again. You guys know what that means. It is time to chip away another portion of the CD collection. A bit of a milestone video today. We are on video number 75 of the CD collection, which absolutely blows my mind. I was motivated to do this when I started it, but with everything that happened in life between now and this 75th video of the CD collection, I'm kind of amazed that we're still going with this and I haven't just laid it down by the wayside. And I know for a fact that there's some of you that have followed along from the very first one of these videos. So I do appreciate that. You have too much time on your hands. I have too much time on my hands. And here we are. We're on 75. I hope we're going to make it all the way through. I mean, I'm kind of at the point now that this is the main focus of the channel. It's kind of taken over the record time that I have, and I'm okay with that. For better or for worse, it's kind of the main focus of the channel. Some people kind of miss some of the other videos that I was doing, but hang tight. I mean, we're in the H's, so 6 years from now, when we finish the entire collection, the channel may be back to where it was before. I'm joking, but I will try to get some other content up. But I am enjoying doing these videos, and I think you guys, some of you that are following along, are finding some new music. I guess new to you music that has been sitting on my shelf, and some of this stuff needs to be shown. I mean, it's stuff that I've never shown on the channel, and I'm enjoying kind of rediscovering my own collection. With that little ramble aside, let's get right into the collection. First up, we have some death metal out of Italy. This is Horrid with Rising from the Hidden Spheres. This is kind of some Swedish sounding death metal. As I said, it is out of Italy. Kind of at times has a bit of a techie feel, and even some progressive death metal going on. Not over the top. It is very rooted into that kind of classic Swedish death metal sound. This came out back in 2006, I'm wanting to believe, on Extreme Music. If it's something that you're going to check out and you end up liking it, I believe More Hate Productions just recently, fairly recently, did a reissue of this. So if it's something that you like, it should not be hard to find yourself a copy of that one. Next up, we have a band. I forget where this band is from. Honestly, I just can't remember. This is Horrified with Deus Diabolus and Versus. This is kind of some atmospheric death metal. This is the last album that this band put out, and it's actually pretty good. They have some material that came out before this. I want to check it out. I just have never gotten around to doing it. You can find this CD for next to nothing. I bought this on eBay, I believe, for just a couple of dollars. I do like it. I wish I could remember where this band comes from, but maybe Greece, perhaps, but I'm not 100% on that. But I do like it. As I said, it's kind of atmospheric death metal. Not over the top with the atmospheres, but just enough to keep you interested and make you wonder where they're going next with that. I like that artwork on that too, but not the Horrified that a lot of people already know, but this was a different band. That band I don't own any material from, funny enough. Next up, this is a band that I found through a HPGD, a Horror Pain Gore Death grab bag. This is Horror Vacui with In Darkness You Will Feel Alright. I was taken aback when I first listened to this. This has kind of got this gothy death rock, maybe even a post-punk sound going on. It was completely different than what I expected it to sound like. It kind of grew on me after I started listening to it, after that initial kind of shock of what I was getting into. It's just not something that I would have expected off of this label either. I don't know quite what I was expecting, but it did sound a bit different than what I figured it would. But I do like it. And then I have, I think this is their second album by Horror Vacui. This also came in one of those grab bags. This is Return of the Empire. I think I like this one a little bit better than that first album. I received both of these together. And just looking at that, I thought I was in for some kind of black metal, perhaps, or I really just wasn't quite sure. But being the label that it was on, I assumed that if it was going to be anything outside of the realm of death metal, it was probably going to be black metal leaning. So when I listened to this, I was just I was like, like, what is this? But it did grow on me. I am a fan of those guys now. That is the only two albums. I think they have 4 releases out now, but that's the only 2 that I own. This is kind of a weird one. I mean, you guys know I like some weird stuff anyway. This is a band called Horse Latitudes with Awakening is the name of the album. It's kind of droney, doom metal, I guess very droney, very heavy. I always thought the album title Awakening was a kind of funny for this, because it is so heavy and so oppressive that it feels like it's suffocating you rather than awakening you. It just, I don't know, the album title that always just kind of struck me as a bit funny that that was the album title for this, but I do like it. And if we're gonna get weird, let's get all the way weird. This is an experimental. I believe they were like tagged as experimental electroacoustic. That sounds like an oxymoron, but I got both of these in Relapse grab bags. I actually think I got them in the same grab bag, and I still haven't completely wrapped my head around this band. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not something that I'm reaching for and listening to all the time. The band is Horseback, and this is a compilation release entitled The Gargon Tongue. There are some melodies and stuff buried in this. It's very experimental, just kind of different stuff. I just don't think I do enough drugs to fully take in what they're trying to convey with this material. It's a 2-disc set. One of the CDs is white. One of the CDs is brown. As I said, that was just kind of a compilation material. A compilation album of the band's material, and then I have the Half Blood release that was in this as well. I love the artwork on this one. Absolutely love the artwork, but it's so out there. It can be a bit of a difficult listen. Relapse kind of has gone. Well, they're kind of coming back a little bit now, but they were kind of going in that weird hipster direction. Just stuff that was different for the sake of being different, and that was right in the middle of that kind of heyday that stuff came out. Next up, we have an unblack metal band. This is a band out of Mexico. This is Horter with Ancient Satanic Rituals Are Crushed in Dust. Looking at this, especially with that artwork, that cover art, you would never in a million years think that this is Christian black metal. It's pretty good. A lot of people write off unblack metal and Christian black metal just because it kind of goes against what black metal originated with. But as long as the music is good, as you guys already know, I mean, you see all the different themes and everything within my CD collection. If I like the music, I'm going to listen to it, and I do enjoy this one. It is the only release from Horter that I own. At some point, I may pick up some more of their material. I think they have 2 other albums out. I'm not really sure at the total, but this one is pretty good. I do like that one. I'm gonna start laughing again. If I know I'm constantly plugging Instagram on here, but that's just kind of my playground as far as social media goes now, because it's the only platform that I'm on. And as I was doing my video prep for this video, this literally had me in tears earlier, and I'll show you guys why. But this is Hortus Anime with their album entitled Waltzing Manifesto. This is kind of progressive black metal, it kind of gothy black metal at times. This was released in 2003 on Black Lotus Records. Yeah, I'm going to open this up and I'm going to show you guys this band photo, and maybe you will understand why. Like, I was literally in tears. Like, if you're following, I mean, the longer, hopefully the camera focuses on that well, so maybe you can just pause it and look at it, because the longer that you look at this photo, just the absolute worst that it gets. And I gotta stop. I'm tearing up now, and I'm gonna start laughing all over again. I don't know why that particular photo hit me just in the right mood that it did. But that was literally one of the funniest things I felt like I'd seen in a really long time. And I'm going to put that one away. It's a good album. Don't get me wrong. It is a good album. But that photo is absolutely ridiculous. And then we have what is my favorite album from Hortus Anime. This is The Blow of Furious Winds, an opus conceived by Hortus Anime. Absolutely love this. Fantastic release. This is the 2-disc version. Their band photo in this one's a little bit better. A little bit. And it comes with a DVD. And this one was released on, I think, Sleazy Rider Productions. But I do like this one. This is my favorite. It came out in 2005. Definitely my favorite release from them. And then I have a compilation from Hortus Anime. This is Funeral Nation 2012, and this is a compilation of their first 3 releases. It has The Blow of the Furious Winds. It has the Waltzing Manifesto. Waltzing Mephisto is the name of that release, and then it has their Melting Idols release on this as well. It has all 3. It's 2 discs, but it has all 3 albums. Pretty good. I mean, it's a good little compilation. If you're looking for something cheap to get their early material, then this is the way to go. You don't get the funny, I mean, that one, I mean, but you don't get the funny band photo with this, unfortunately, though. But it's pretty good. They have some material that came out after these releases, but I just didn't really get into that. Pretty much this kind of caps off where I really like the band, so I have it all in these, but by far, The Blow of the Furious Winds is my favorite release from that project. Okay, well, I'm going to hold it together, and we'll move forward. Next up, we have a band out of Minneapolis, perhaps. This is House of Atreus with The Spear and the Eaker That Follows. Sorry if you hear the dogs barking outside. There's like a gang of dogs that are running up and down my street right now. But this one's pretty good. This is kind of melodic death metal. It has these like ancient Greek themes going on in the music. I used to have the vinyl of this as well. I think I ended up giving that away, like either in a giveaway or a VCLT. I can't remember, but at one point I did own a vinyl copy of this as well. I'm pretty satisfied with just having the CD. That is the main format that I listen to. So pretty good. It came out in 2015 on Dark Descent. They had another album that followed this one up that's pretty decent as well, but I just haven't gotten my hands on that one. Next up, we have some horror-themed death metal out of Kentucky. This is kind of thrashy, very thrashy, thrash death hybrid kind of band. This is Howling with I think it's their only full length, entitled A Beast Conceived. This one kind of makes me mad. It had potential to be such a great album. The production definitely does it a disservice. This was released in 2013 on Razorback Records. As the majority of Razorback Records releases, it's got Vanessa Nocero or Vanessa Hex doing the vocals, or at least in the band. But it had potential to be such a good album. It's still decent. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the album itself. The music is actually really good. It's just something about the production mix. Something is just off-putting to me on it. It's very unfortunate because this had potential to be such a good album. And then their EP, this was actually the last release that they put out before they split. This one is entitled Tear the Screams From Your Throat. This one's phenomenal. Just thrashy death metal goodness, and I absolutely love this one. This is what, if that full length had been on the tier of production and the mix that this EP was released, that would have been like a god tier full length that the band put out there. So, but either way, still pretty good stuff. I do like these. I like a lot of these Razorback Records releases. You get a lot of these definitely a lot of horror themed kind of death metal, thrashy death metal bands on that label. There's some other stuff as well on Razorback, but those are some of the ones that mainly stick out to me. Let me make me a little space. I'm going to take a swig. and we will continue on. Next up, this one is definitely outside of my wheelhouse. Usually I'm not into over-the-top progressive stuff, and this is an extremely progressive album that is progressive for the sake of being progressive, and usually that's stuff that I just could not get into at all. This is Howling Sycamore with their debut full-length, self-titled full-length. This came out, I think, in 2018. This is good. I mean, the melodies on this, I mean, as you can see, Prosthetic Records went all out on the release with this kind of digi-wallet. I mean, I love that. Thank you, Prosthetic, for sparing no expense in your release there. But other than that, the music on this, which the thing that really matters, it's phenomenal. The melodies are there. It's catchy despite being progressive. It's just, I mean, it gets a little weird at times, but it is a fantastic listen. They had a follow-up full length. This is their debut. Their follow-up came up a year after this, and it's terrible. I couldn't get into that one at all. But this one, this self-titled, is great stuff. Next up, we have some black metal. This is The Howling Wind with Vortex. This one's been out a little bit. This was released on Init Records. This band has quite a bit of material out, and unfortunately this is the only release from them that I own. I keep saying I'm going to grab some more from The Howling Void because it is good. It's dark. It's very aggressive black metal, but it is good stuff. It's not with the name like that and the look, you might think you're getting into something overly atmospheric, and especially with a band name like that, but it's more, it leans more to the aggressive side of things as far as black metal goes. They had an EP that came out last year that was really good as well, but they've got quite a few full lengths out, and unfortunately Vortex is the only one that I own, and this one's been out for quite a bit, so I need to get on the ball and pick up some more of their material. Some more black metal. This is Hubris, Hubris, with their self-titled. This one's pretty good. It was released on Severed Records, Butchered Records, and United Underground. I don't really look to Butchered Records or Severed Records for black metal, but this one was a pretty solid release, so they did good on putting this one out. This is some more of that kind of frosty, aggressive black metal style. This one's been out. This came out in 2011, so it's been out for quite some time. I got this in a mystery box, and I was impressed with it. It wasn't the best black metal. I mean, it was pretty standard stuff, but it wasn't the worst release. I mean, it definitely is worthy of a spot in the collection. Next up, we have Hughie with Solarioid. Yeah, I butchered that one. This is kind of pagan style black metal. It's got that nice little sticker residue there on the cover. I've had this one for a hot minute. It came out in 2005 on Regimental Records. I got this in a bulk purchase with several Regimental Records releases. I haven't spent a ton of time with this one, to be honest. I don't remember just a whole lot about this. It was kind of forgettable, unfortunately, but there were some very good releases that I got in that Regimental little bulk lot. We'll kind of hit those when we get to them. I know I've covered a few already, but there are still some more coming in later videos on the channel. Next up, I was speaking earlier about how Relapse at one point went to this kind of hipster, spacey, I don't even know, the post metal sounding stuff, and this one kind of fits in with that. And it's very funny to me that this one fits into that with the artist that's doing it. This is Scott Hull with his solo album Requiem. Scott Hull, if you're not familiar with, he's Pig Destroyer and Agoraphobic Nosebleed are two of his more notable projects that he's in, and it's kind of weird that he's got this very hipsterish project out. I'm not gonna badmouth it because Scott looks like he could slap my head right off my shoulders. I mean, dude is an absolute beast, but it's not bad. I mean, for this kind of hipster kind of sounding stuff, it's pretty good. It's good background music. It's very interesting kind of to see this kind of side of someone. You hear a person in projects that are so aggressive and so just in your face over and over, and then to have something that has this kind of ambient experimental type stuff going on. It's pretty eye opening to, and not so much eye opening. It's kind of neat just to see a different part of a person's personality coming out through their music. Next up, we have Human Butchery with Psychopath Abduction. This came out in 2013. This is some pretty solid death grind, death metal / death grind. I believe this band is out of. I just went blank. I don't remember where this project is from. So I do apologize. I was going to try to give you a little more insight into the band, and I looked it up before. Mexico, maybe? I looked it up before. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Mexico just because of the the look of it, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But anyway, that doesn't matter. The music is pretty solid. I mean, this is death grind, little bit of gore grind going on. Just it's 9 tracks of just in your face, melt your brains out, death metal. Next up, we have some more death grind. Completely. I guess we're going to go up north. I believe this band's out of Canada, even though it was released through Horror, Pain, Gore, Death, which is a label in Philadelphia. But I believe this band is out of Canada. This is Human Compost with From the Grave They Crawl. I got this, I think, in the most recent HPGD mystery box that I did. It's still been a little while since I've gotten one, but I think in the last one that I did that this one was in there. I really liked this one. I was pretty impressed with this. It definitely was better than I was going to give it credit for, just having looked at it. I figured it was just going to be run-of-the-mill death metal, but this is just some grindy death goodness. I really like that one. I've spent more time with that than I would have expected, just having when I first went through that little grab box. Next up, fantastic album. I love this. If you haven't heard this one, you should definitely get on it. It's kind of a experimental death metal, experimental death grind, I guess is a good way to put this. Kind of a cult classic. I think this is the only release that this band ever put out. It came out, man, it's been out probably 10 years, if not maybe 2010. I don't see a date on here, but I know it's been out for over a decade, I gotta say. This is Humanity Falls with Ordaining the Apocalypse. Amazing release. I absolutely love this. I'm probably most definitely going to leave this one out and give it a spin again today. I haven't listened to it. It's been a little while since I've listened to this one, but it's fantastic. I have nothing but good memories of this, and I think there's a lot of people that just don't know about this, and they should, and the people that do know about it are just kind of hanging on to it like a hidden gem in their collection. But definitely, if there's going to be anything that you've checked out that you're going to decide to check out from this video so far, I highly recommend you check out Humanity Falls with Ordaining the Apocalypse if you have not done so. If you've never heard that one, definitely get in on that, especially if you're into death metal and death grind. Next up, we have a couple of CDs from a band out of Malaysia. It's more death metal. They have a ton. They got like 157. I don't know the number. It's not that many, but they've been putting out albums since like 2009, and they've got a ton of releases already. I only own 2 of them. I got them back when Fossil Dungeon was doing their kind of mystery boxes and grab bags. I got both of these from those, and they're solid death metal. It's just that this band has so much material out there. This is Humiliation with Turbulence from the Deep. This one's a pretty solid release. The one that I'm going to show next, I think I like a little bit more, but it's pretty much run-of-the-mill death metal. I mean, but it's solid stuff. You're not reinventing any type of wheel with this, but they know what they're doing, and they do it well. So it definitely, if you're wanting to hear some solid death metal and you're just wanting something aggressive, something like that, then it will definitely scratch that itch for you. And this one I like a little bit more than Turbulence from the Deep. This is Humiliation with Battalion. And the artwork and everything just is so fitting for this one. It just feels like you're going to war. This was released on Deep Send Records. It's been out for a little bit now, maybe 2013-ish, somewhere around in there. 2014, so I was close, but it's pretty good. I do like both of those Humiliation releases. I wouldn't mind some more of that in the collection, but it's not just something that I'm going to be like, I have to have that right now and go search it out. Next up, this is one, like, never judge a release by its cover. I got this in a mystery box. It came out, I'm going to say, around 2019. It's been out a few years. I never would have checked this out had it not come in that box. It was actually one of the last releases that I probably listened to in that mystery box, just based on the artwork. And I was blown away by this. And it turned out to probably be my favorite release that I got in that box. It may have ended up on my end of the year list in 2019. I can't remember. But this is some death metal out of Hungary. And I'm going to butcher this. This is Humigor with Bring Decay to an End. This is the only full length that this band has put out, and this is just some fantastic death metal. It has that old school vibe going on. If you have not checked this one out, this is another that you death metal junkies out there definitely need to get in on. I know a lot of people probably have never even heard of this, but I absolutely love it. They spell the band name Humugur. So that way, if you want to go out and kind of find it and listen to it yourself, and instead of just taking my word for it, definitely go do it. It's some crazy death metal out of Hungary, and I really love this. So killer stuff there. Next up, we have some pagan metal. This is Hunaz with Unser Wald. As with a lot of the pagan metal, it's got that folky feel going on. Leans heavily into black metal. Kind of pagan metal and black metal tend to go hand in hand quite often, and you got to throw folk metal right there with it. Pretty good release. It's been out for several years now. It's been out for quite some time, but I don't even remember where I got this one from, but I do have a fond memory of it. It came out in 2008, so it's been out for a little bit. Next up, we have some insane death grind out of Brazil. This is Hut with Sessao Descaego. Yeah. Killer stuff. This, I mean, it will bludgeon you to death. It's about 30 minutes, and I'm going to guess, there's the track listing. I'm going to guess that there's 30 tracks, 30 tracks, and it only runs about 30 minutes. So that kind of gives you an idea. I mean, with that grindy stuff, you know what you're getting into, just that fast pace, just bludgeon a lot of times. And one of my biggest complaints, I mean, I know what grind is, and I know that it's kind of the way that it is, but sometimes I want those little short tracks to expand out and them to build on that a little bit. But this is still an amazing release. It is the only release that I own from HUD. I believe this was their debut. They have quite a bit, I guess a pretty decent sized discography after this, but this one's pretty good. And then last but not least, we have some more black metal. I believe this band is out of Sweden, maybe Spain. Actually, I think this band is out of Spain. I think this is some Spanish black metal. This is Huader with and Withering of Murk Skies and Withering Mountains. As you can see, that has like I mean that just screams black metal from the artwork there. Pretty good. I don't just remember a ton about this, and it's sad because I just recently listened to this, and I've got so much information just kind of packed in my head to share today that I'm not totally 100%. I don't want to misspeak on this one. I know I like it. I just don't remember a whole lot about it today. I have what in my head what I want to say about it. Like it has like almost like a folky feel, almost an atmospheric feel at times, but I'm not 100% on that, so don't write me on that. But I droned on forever in this video. I'm sorry. I think we're at 30 minutes, but that's all for today. We will wrap up the H's next week and start into the I section. That video will be quite a bit shorter than this one because there is a spacer in that section of the shelf, so that'll give you guys a little break and you don't have to hear me ramble on for 30 minutes. But that's all I've got for this week, at least for today. Stay classy, and I will see you guys soon, I promise.